good morning to everyone, every man and woman who are joining us. And I want to thank you for great introduction of me, especially to Mr. Sean and Miss Claire was speaking before. She speaks wonderfully about the coaching, and I was thinking she is mostly speaking what I want to, but she has a very intelligent, very experienced, and she is working for the Western Province. It is the biggest forum of the South Africa and biggest province of the South Africa. They are producing a lot of cricketers, females and males. So I would like to thank you to Mr. Sean and give the opportunity to speak with the coaches. First of all, I would like to define something about me. I'm Muhammad Maneeb Ali. Earlier, Mr. Sean told you people about me. So I have done my master in physical education and sports sciences. So I'm doing helping to coaches how they can improve themselves, how they can do better in their coaching. So today's topic is very long, and I would like to define to cover, which is very difficult, but I will try to lecture about the scientific coaching in sports. My topic is that if you people are listening me, so I would like to request you, if you have a paper and pen, you must keep in your hands, because everybody is here to become a successful coach. Thank you for your time and to be here. And it means you people came here and you want to listen and want to learn something new, which I try to deliver you people. So I will give you my outlines. First of all, my outlines are that what is coaching, what is scientific coaching, and the second, what is the coaching philosophy, and what are the types of coaching, and the fourth one, what are the communication skills for the best coaches, and how to design training sessions, and how to treat with athletes, and how to make them professional, and difference between educated athlete and educated athlete, and benefits of motivation in sports. So I will try to cover all that topics which I define. First of all, we are going to first step. What is coaching? Everybody has his different definition. So coaching is a science, is a scientific foundation that underpins the work of all professional coaches. The translation of coaching science into coaching practice is a life force of the Institute of Coaching. So the many quotations about the coaching, the interesting thing about coaching is that you have to trouble the comfortable and comfort the trouble, and set goals, high goals for you and your organization. When your organization has a goal to school for you, create teamwork, people working for a common good. And you people are the coaches of schools, and I hope you are here to learn. So the best thing is that you can motivate by fear, you can motivate by reward. Both those methods are only temporary. The only lasting thing is self-motivation. So you should always try to give the self-motivation to your athlete, especially the child. And there are three types of players: those who make it happen, those who watch it happen, and those who wonder what happens. And what do you do with a mistake? Recognize it, admit it, learn from it, and forget your mistake. Champions have behaved like champions before the champions and after champions. This is a quotation. Don Mayer, former basketball coach of the United States, he said, discover your gift, develop your gift, and then give it away every day. The best teams have chemistry. they communicate with each other and sacrifice personal glory for common goals. If you yesterday seems big, you haven't done anything today, it means you are not developing yourself, you are wasting your time actually. So now I will define, are you a scientist or more from artist? Is coaching is art or science? The simple answer is that the art versus science. Coaching is an ever-changing mix of both. But after a little, sorry guys, I don't want to be do, but it is the problem of not mine. It is the problem of internet. So sorry for interrupt. And the simple answer is that art versus science, the coaching is an ever-changing mixture of both. After a little designing and pretty fundamental questions. So the science of coaching is in my mind to use of method, tools, and technologies to attempt and predict and control supports training and performance. The task home message is that science of coaching more often than not deals in numbers, stats, and tangible measures. In fact, the science of coaching has done a great job of turning athlete into well-oiled, optimal performance, and they can become elite. Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello? Hello?
We can hear you perfectly now. Much better now without the video. The audio is perfect now.
Okay. Thank you. I am continue my topic. The art of coaching embrace the intangible, and coaches should make a good relationship with the players, feedback at key moments, cultural upbringing and varied meanings, complex contexts, and team culture and shared understanding. So next, I am moving on my next point. The point is that what is the coaching philosophy? The art of coaching is developed through mentorship and inspiration. We need to look for these in our coaches development. Just as we aim to create a development environment for our players, we must coach up and demand that people in charge of our clubs and governing bodies do the same for us. Having a well-defined approach for the way each player is served in crucial part of being as a coach. Coaching is used a wide variety of area. To there be a variety of coaching philosophies. The development of coaching philosophy is a way to expectations for the coach and the players. Coaching philosophy is a coaching tool to help guide coaches in their process of coaching. Having philosophy gives a coach clear guidance on the objective that they should be pursued and how to achieve them. While uh, a coaches stand in a great way for a coach to begin effectively determining their philosophy and developing your coaching philosophy. The development of your coaching philosophy should start with core values. This philosophy will reflect your moral standards as well as your integrity. For you as a coach to show up your best self by your players, you should have a deep understanding of why you got into the profession in the first place. Here are few questions. What I want to ask the few questions for all of the coaches. They should ask these 5 questions to all of them. They should ask this question for themselves. What is my motivation for coaching? Number one. Number two, what type of coach do I want to be? Number three, why is coaching the right fit for me? Why I choose the coaching? And number four, what is that I would like to achieve with my players? And last question, what will I achieve for myself? Why I choose? So these are the 5 questions all the coaches should speak with them and ask them why we choose the coaching. and nobody can give the better answer which they can give. Each coach tells himself stories that may bring forth commitment that will undermine the effectiveness of the coaching. Self-awareness in coming is vital in delivering effective services to the players. Here are few examples what coach might unintentionally be committed to do that hold them back them their philosophy. They need to admire the player, ensuring the process is being done right. They need to highlight personal knowledge being consumed with a client and players level of comfort, being too polite with the players. So next, we are going to the next slide. Purpose of coaching philosophy, why coaching styles, and how, and your values and ideas. A step-by-step pathway developing a coaching philosophy is below. Step 1, identify your values. List them, specific your values. More example, for example, mutual respect, organization, and integrity. And step 2, develop your belief systems, developing actions for each value. And number 3, build a mission statement from the answer to the second on the path to be source of open-minded support for the players as an organized, safe, and honest coaching provide collaborative and creative space to growth them. And some of examples, when you say the word coach, to most people an image of some with a clipboard and wireless some comes to mind, though athletic coaches have an alternative role to other types of coaches. Many of the philosophers are similar. A coaching philosophy may be developed by acknowledge the objective of athletic, the team, followed by the coach. You want to develop them. And now I am moving forward. My next slide. What are the coaching styles? There are the terms coaching style refer to overall direction of each session, and there are many styles. What you and your players want to achieve and how they wish to get there. It is key to understand the different types of coaching style that we have to below. What are the coaching style? Coaching style can vary. Coaches maybe prefer styles of coaching which is normally based on your personality, but you need to be adaptable and to be able to use different styles according to the situation. So there are some styles which I will like to define. Uh, Democratic coaching style, autocratic coaching style, laissez-faire coaching style, holistic coaching style, and some of others coaching style. Like counselors, coaches are made up of a range of backgrounds such as psychology, management, education, sports, health, and of course, how coaches work with the players is related to this background as well as the coach's personality and the history. The research told us the similar to classic pretending style, namely the manner in which life coaches interact with the players to similar distinctions. For example, coaches may vary in terms of degree to which they control sessions. Coaches also may differ in terms of whether they take a more specific focus on consider multiple factors. So first style I would like to define a democratic styles. In this type of styles, the coaches mostly the democratic follows the same general principle of the democracy itself. It takes into account and interests, concerns, and choice for the players, and they work together and they take ideas from the team. And with democratic coaching, the players takes an active role to determine the coaching goals and method used to achieve them. And there are some keys of this style: motivation, collaborative competency, self-efficacy, creativity, inspiration, productivity, empowerment. And second, this is the autocratic style. In this style, more different than democratic. Autocratic coaches they make their decision and they didn't take any ideas from others, and the autocratic coach taking it upon and to make decisions, sometimes described as more extreme version of transactional. So there are some points about the autocratic leader. Their productivity, efficiency, trust in the coach, stress reduction. They don't trust on the players, and they always understand what we said. This is right. They don't give to uh, chance to player. They can speak and they can add anything about the coaching. And the laissez-faire. This mostly handoff approach is grounded in the idea the player's self-efficacy to achieve their own goals and priorities with minimal leadership. Using the example of coach hired an external consultant, laissez-faire coach holds the player responsible as the primary process. And this type of coaches, uh, they didn't take a lot of things from the players. They gave them self-empowerment, self-efficacy, self-confidence, self-management, and they also gave them the decision-making ability. They gave them freedom, what they want to do and what they want to join. And hostelic coaching style. It is the style take account of whole person and recognizing the countless and multiple domains of life. This approach is concerned with all aspects of the players, like feeling and understanding of the player, trust in the coach and player relationship, uh, uncovering of deeply highly feelings and drives, identification of solutions, and enhanced functions to across whole person, mind, body, feeling, and spirit, enhanced functioning to across multiple domains, family, work, home, and health. And there are some more coaching style. Mindfulness coaching draws from mindfulness coaching philosophy by promoting a type of awareness in which a person pays attention, feeling, and thoughts in a moment and without judgment. It is an open-minded and accepting way of responding of thoughts. Coaches follows this approach towards the creating glamour for the players. And there are some qualities of that type of coaches: the acceptance, peace of mind, reduce anxiety. They always try to reduce anxiety of the player. They gave the clarity to the player. They try to bring harmony among the team. They gave the awareness they create the environment for the awareness for the players and develop mental coaching. This coaching style involves helping relationship in which the players learn, opportunities are identified, his or her growth supported, and developmental coach act as a thought partner of the players, and they give us some long-term development, greater learning opportunities, broad human capacity, and self-education. And now transactional coaching. Uh, Transactional coaching, the coach is interested in an exchange focused relation. This task is driven limited style aim to promoting performance and uh, avoiding blocks. So this was the some of styles of the coaching, and in this we can study the cognitive development of players, collaborative skills, and intrinsic motivation, self-discovery, purpose, accountability. And last one, I would like to define the bureaucratic coaching style. This style is just like the bureaucracy. they follow the rules, they follow the consistency. They need to consistency, they need to efficiency, they need to safety of their, and they need to accountability. So this was the styles of coaching. So now we are move on our next slide. What are the communication skills for the coaches? Generally, good communication involves people interacting with one another to convey the information. The most obvious from communication is very much important for the coaches. When thinking about communication in sports, the available method can seem very specific. So many studies have shown benefits of good communication in competitive athletics, footballs, cricket, hockey, and so on, many other games. Players who knows how to effectively interact with each other will work together better, forming a stronger overall team. However, learning to communicate one's thought and feeling clearly and effectively without hurting or offending others can take a time. So this is very much important aspect of administrative in sports, organizing public relation with parents, media, and fans. And coach should need to work hard to develop good relationship based on clear constructive communication with parents and with the high schools, teachers, and professionals, interaction with media and fans as well as. So there are some there are some qualities of good communication for the coaches. Coaches should be effective communication. They should produce effective communication. To coach is a way can develop and enhance skills and performance, yet there are still more responsibilities that critical. To coach include a building relationship through genuine communication. Coach who can truly connect with their athlete will make further progress. And then organization as a skill, organization is critical. An athletic director want to achieve success. Planning and organizing keep the athletes engaged. Without plan, athlete and coaches may lose motivation or sight the goal, and progress will be challenging. Observation and analysis. Coaches must see beyond the physical and precise, beyond the basics. They must observe details and analyze how to enhance their athletes beyond what they find possible. Understanding all aspects of performance, both mental, physical, is not easy and can be taxing. Successful coaches stay always beyond, and they think always beyond of the performance as well. Innovation, finally but no less important, is the ability to produce original and fresh ideas. The biggest leap taken towards success by coaches involve finding unique methods to enhance the player and to innovate the player. At the grassroots level, you people are working at the grassroots level, and you must be aware all of these things, and you should be take knowledge of all these things. And now the next thing, how to design a training session. You see, this is very crucial. As a coach, we must know how to design a coaching style, a coaching session. When asked to identify the secret of success of his great Manchester United teams during the Premier League, as directly the most important aspect of our system was training. What happens on Saturday has already occurred on the training ground. You can't really argue with him. So first of all, when you are going to organize any type of training session, you must be brief to the players. I believe the first step is designing an effective training session should always be identification of clear goal and purpose of the session, understanding both what the team and specific player need at certain time in critical skill. Although it is not difficult to find good training session, but effective coaching involves consistently providing every player with correct of technical, physical, tactical, mental challenges they require to elevate their game. So Now, I will briefly explain. When you go for any training session, first you must be introduce your athlete about the warm up. What is warm up actually, and importance of warm up? We can't underestimate it. The most of the coaches, they are not applying because they are not educating the child how much importance of the warm up. After the warm up, second step would be that we should go the some specific drills, game specific drills. For example, if you're the hockey coach, you must give them some hockey drills. If you are the soccer coach, you will give them some soccer drills. And if you are the cricket coach, and if you are give them some cricket drills. And if you are the tennis coach, you can give them forehand, backhand, and some drills about that. It's so on. So after that, we can organize some of the fitness drills, or as well as completing fitness drills like lunges, push-ups, and so on, high knee, low knee, and squats. After that, the warm down and cool down. This is the last step of the session. How we can make them. This is very important. Many of the coaches underestimate warm down and cool down. They are not try to know the importance of the warm down and cool down, and they didn't teach to the children how much it's important. And now this is the all things which I want to describe about how to design coaching session. Now, what are the role model, what type of coaches are role model for the students? It is important for coaches to remember that children look to coaches as a role model. Coaches must impact positive values to children along with athletic training. Coaches need to promote high standard of integrity with supplying a team first atmosphere. Ensure that focus is on learning important skills both off the field, also working toward a common goal. Remember that young guys are always watching you. Therefore, coaches should serve as a role model by promoting good sportsmanship to positive child development. Sports can promote values such as respect, discipline, commitment. These sportsman values are just as important as the development of athletic powers. Sometimes it can be challenging to marry sportsmanship and athletic success. There are several important pieces of advice that all coaches should keep in mind when they work with the players. Promote integrity, minimize selfish actions, respect referees. Most we see sometime in the soccer, the players after the finishing the game, they didn't give the respect to the referees, and sometimes is racism in South Africa, which is very sadful for us. It is common for to children to see professional athletes, so we must give them respect to the referee. Encouraging teamwork, one of the most important aspects of sports in the development of teamwork. Whether in sports, in life, kids need to learn work with others to achieve a common goal. Make sure positively reinforce these values. Focus on learning, always focus on learning, and complaint the other team for compliment should be for other team. You should must teach the your children to encourage the respect of opponents. Either you win, either you lose. Praise a player for hustle. A team cannot have success on every day. It is important to not let children get discouraged by failure. Make sure to praise a player for great effort, even if the result is not perfect. So always try to praise a player. Criticize constructively and privately. Sometimes players need to be signaled poor display for sportsmanship, lack of efforts, and simply constructive teaching moments. However, never call out a player in front of other people. It means you are decreasing the confidence level of your player. Show difference in victory and defeat. Regardless of the outcome, the coach should his or he should be head should be high. Be proud of effort and always compliment the other team on a good game. Learning to be humble in victory and remaining proud during defeat is a tough balance to strike for the children. Make sure the players are respectful in the handshake line. And now uh, I am going to the next step, which is important. Sports are academics and how we can be justified. Mostly coaches, they didn't teach to the children what is important, the sports, how much important of sports and how much importance of education in their life. One hand, the wording of the question is simple enough, yet the answer can be derived one way. If we are examining coaches should value what coaches should value and more academics, the athletes are used to means and end. If we value academic more than sports, then coaches become a figure. There is no sports. We must be balanced between education and and the sports. When academic is advocated, there is greater chance to athletes well recognize that an education cannot be take from them. It is theirs. More opportunities present themselves as they are empowered to make decisions about themselves and their place in the world. If sports is advanced at the cost of academics, the athletes are placed in terrible position. If they suffer injury, cannot make it the next level, they have found themselves with a limited position when they should have had win. This is one reason why academics are more important in sports. The reality is that our society does not seem to value this. Athletes find the difficulties. Everybody cannot become an elite level athlete. At the end of the day, they have no backup. So some of the players on average athlete who signed contract with the professional organization paid more than college graduate with a degree in specialized, and teachers, football players make some more than teachers. True, but it is true. But we should remember all the thing. We can't change the whole scenario. We can't make everybody have every player to elite level. So we must give the importance to the study. As a coach, we must give the, but these days players earn enough money, the modified legend continues, so they can easily afford to study. I would advise every players to study and get educated. A lot of players thinks that their future is now, in the moment. However, they forget about the moment when they retire from from the game, because sports is not all the whole life. So they must be backup. Now, uh, the last point of my presentation: role of motivation and its impact on the performance of sports person. I would like to describe motivation. There is two types of motivation: positive and negative. And then there is more two types: intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Motivation is the most essential elements of a human personality. It helps shape and direct a person's activity to be termed as more or less dynamic personality. In absence of willingness to succeed in the psychological factor abilities do not provide the inputs on performance. The basic of achievement motivation is a motive to desire, motive to achieve a goal. Motivation is the basic drive for all actions and dynamic of our behavior, which involves our need, desire, and ambitions in life. Achievement motivation is based on reaching success and achieving all of our aspiration in our life. Positive motivation. What is positive motivation? I will briefly explain. The positive motivation is a response that takes place when an individual performance is driven by previous reinforcing behavior. That is to say, athlete performance because they have received reward for the similar action in the past. Positive motivation relies on continuous self-enforcement and reinforcement by the coach, family, friends, spectators, and media. These relationships can have huge effect on how motivate athlete is before competition and after the competition. There are some factors which are very much important in the motivation. Communicate effectively, reward athlete with praise and encouragement, appear organized and in control, include certain times for fun and humor, develop a relationship of mutual respect between coach and athlete, know when to take a break and when to give an athlete a day off, develop leadership skills, supporting the athlete after errors and loses as well as after playing and winning, developing personal progress charts. I would like to add one example. When Mr. Imran Khan from Pakistan, the former captain of the Pakistan, 1992, the World Cup, when the World Cup was starting, before the World Cup, he selected Mr. Inzamam, the legendary player of the Pakistan team. So all the selection committee and all the board members asked the question, Imran Khan, why you select that junior player? And Imran Khan was very motivated person. He always gave the motivation to his player. He always encouraged the player. So he said to them, that man will be the key in the World Cup. And people started laughing on them, on him. Why? Because they don't know, they have no leadership qualities. So they have no vision. If as a coach you have no vision, you can't see beyond the picture, you can't see behind the scene, you can't be a good coach. So he said he will perform well. And ultimately into the 1992 World Cup, Inzamam performed very well into the final and semi-final. Then people accepted the reality behind the winning. It is just motivation. So motivation can change the whole results. There are negative motivation is also. It is characterized by impulse. Sorry guys, it is a very long word. It is impairment in performance out of a fear the consequence due to the lack of good performance. For example, a player may work hard on the netball court and avoid being ridiculed and end of the game by the coach or the members. Unfortunately, many coaches attempt to motivate their athlete by use of fears, threats, criticism, and abusing language. The problem with these methods is that although they can be effective in the short terms, then naturally they are not they are not creating good relation with the players. Like criticism, athlete is not performing well in a training, so the coach tell him, if you don't start performing you will be sitting on the bench and wouldn't get any playing team in front of all the team. Criticize the player. An athlete make error during the game and the coach respond by using, I can't believe how how you are performing, can you do anything right? Criticism, always criticism. An athlete make a mistake during a game and coach says, are you even trying to out there? A 6 year old could be, a child could be better than you. A physical abuse. Coach is unhappy with how his team, and he believes that the team gave up when they uh, when they should perform well. So last thing I would like to define, then it would be finished. Motivation is the one of the fascinating and important area in human psychology. Motivation has immense effect on learning. In the absence of motivation, either there will be no learning or very little learning. Motivation is emotional talent. It is the key of learning and training. Once released, it can work wonder. Motivation helps the people to perform higher than their normal physical and mental capacities and keep them satisfied. Motivation is inspirational process which implies the member of the team to pull their weight effectively, to give their loyalty of the group, to carry out the task properly. They have accepted and generally to play an effective part in the job and the team. Motive motivations are need motivation is the process in which learners internal energies are desired towards the goal. The we have covered the physical preparation, technical preparation, tactical preparation, mental preparation, general preparation, specific preparation, and we have covered a lot of topics about that. So the conclusion is that if we want to be coach, we should be good motivator, we should be the good communicator, we should be the good learner, we should be the good relationship with the players. Thank you so very much, guys, and I hope you will enjoy the lecture. It was pretty long, but I did try to cover all the aspects. Thank you, Mr. Sean, and thank you to all of the coaches who listen. And if you have any question, yeah, then you can ask the questions.
Hey, hi, Mohammed. I do have a couple of questions for you. The first one is that the guys have asked if they can get your presentation, to have a look at your presentation too. Would that be possible?
Yeah, it is possible.
Okay, cool. So then if you can send it to me in like a PDF format, and then I can send it on to the coaches that have asked for it. The second question is that you spoke about motivating players and you spoke about captaincy. Now, one of the things that is lacking a little bit sometimes in sport is that the coach directs everything from the sideline without allowing the players to think for themselves. So how do you get a player to think for themselves? How do you encourage them to think for themselves or to come up with their own solutions on the field?
You see, impact of the motivation is a good cooperation among the teammates, and with the help of the motivation, there is healthy environment in the team. Teammates easily understand the problem of his colleagues. You understand what I mean, and
Yes.
motivate them in proper way to learn new skills or the particular game. This helps the player toward the attainment of fruitful performance in game. We should give them time how he should improve himself. If we will give them time, and sometimes a vital objective of motivation in sports training in the development of skills and technique in particular sports, or even which sports person intend to perform or execute. Good skills or technique helps the process the sports person to make economical and optimal use of physical abilities and the physical powers. Yes.
Okay, and then there's another question that was asked by Francois, and Claire's come back, but I think she's come back with a phenomenal answer about it. But I think it's just something to pose to you, and maybe we'll actually pose it to some people in the future also. And that is, what are your thoughts with regards to the effect of COVID pandemic on having player development, with no sport being allowed to be played this year and possibly maybe at the beginning of next year? So in other words, in South Africa, they've come out saying that they're not allowing any kind of coaching. That means that they're not allowing one-on-one coaching with kids. So it's not just group coaching or coaching with so it's not just group coaching or contact sport, but any kind of sport. They've said so: no athletics, no swimming, no cricket, nothing. How can you still develop the player, grow the player, and still coach the players, even though you're not allowed to get hold of them?
At the moment, we are in a big trouble, all of them, and we can't do anything. And in this critical condition, coaches can make a session with their players, like online session we did today, and we did try to clear some things, and we did try to train some new things to the coaches, so they can train to their players and their team like a session. They can give them some training tips, like they can do the fitness session in their home, in their academies where they are staying, and this is not very difficult if they will manage, and this way it would be very much better for them, and they will have very good connection with the players and with the team. And when they will come back, at least just like the Pakistani team, they are going to tour on England, they are on tour. So they were not practicing actually, but now they are in good touch. The Miss Bowla press conference, he said to the people, we are doing a very well, which we are expecting from last 4 to 3 months, because they didn't practice anything. So the thing is that they should be involved with the players as a meeting, as a Zoom meeting. They should connect with them. They should continuously grow them mentally and physically and tactically. They can work on the tactical skill as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Mohammed. I'm just going to launch a poll again like I did with Claire, that just asking if you'd like to find out more from Mohammed in a session similar to this, or would you prefer him to speak directly to a school or club, or just find out more information from Mohammed
And
or about Mohammed?
I would like to some questions